Here's some stucco damage that is real common all over the place, and you'll see these little pockets or bubbles that pop out, and a lot of times they're caused by moisture being trapped in the stucco. And here you can see it that the base of it is really taking a beating. And you know, first thing you got to think of when you see pockets like these is where is the problem originating from. And if you go back to the first picture in the video, you can actually see that the soil is above the base of the stucco, and the second picture, the previous picture, it wasn't, but there was still damage. So that's something you're going to have to kind of put the old thinking cap on and try and figure out what it actually was that caused the damage if the soil isn't near the base of the stucco. And don't forget, even in this picture here, you can see where some of the soil is up and some of it's a little lower. Don't be confused and think, if you're inspecting a property, that someone didn't move the soil away. The stucco got damaged because of the soil, then someone moves the soil away, and then you're kind of scratching your head there. So it wouldn't be a bad idea just to ask the property owner and find out why the stucco was damaged, what caused it, if there was dirt around it, why they moved it, etc. Now, these bubbles are basically formed, and I see this a lot on painted stucco. I rarely see it on regular stucco that has not been painted. But it seems like once you paint the stucco, you kind of put a protective layer over it, and any moisture that gets trapped behind it somehow, whether it's absorbed through the soil or in this case it could set on these ledges for a while and then soak into the finish or the stucco. And again, I'm not actually sure if this is a solid concrete wall, because the rest of the structure looks like it's concrete with a stucco finish, or if it was actually a lath and plaster finish and someone color coded it and then painted it. But either way, whenever you see something like this, there's a really good chance that the reason why you're looking at these bubbles is because moisture somehow got trapped behind the paint. The paint will actually form like a protective coating that won't let the moisture out. And of course, the moisture wants to get out, and eventually these bubbles form. And I don't know the whole process. You know, I'm not a chemist. I don't understand what it is actually that causes these bubbles. You know, how they form. I just know that most of the time when you see something like this, that it has something to do with moisture. How do you fix something like this? Realistically, you're going to need to scrape it off and recolor coat the area, and then obviously repaint it. And then if you really wanted to do it right, you'd need to sandblast everything off and then refinish it, but don't paint it. And of course, keep the dirt away from the base of the stucco. That is a biggie. Avoid as much moisture as you possibly can from being trapped behind anything. And of course, this is a biggie. You know, a lot of people, they paint something and they think, hey, this is going to solve all my problems, when then a few years later they end up with something like this. So I am not a big fan of painting cement or stucco because of this right here. However, I do understand the reason why people do it. And again, a quick fix for something like this would just be to scrape it down and paint it. And this is what most do-it-yourselfers and homeowners do, because the cost is prohibitive to you know, sandblast this thing and refinish it. So I understand reasons why people do it.